Buckle in, Scorpio, because it feels like we are in for a wild ride in this reading. If there has been something that you've been afraid to do, a chance or a risk that you've been afraid to take, now is the time to do it. At least that's what I'm getting with the cards, the animal cards that I already pulled for you. We will get into the tarot in just a moment, but before we dive into all of that, I just want to announce that I'm running a sale on my website for the holiday season. You can get 20% off all of my services using the code Good Tidings. You can find information in the description of this video, as well as links for all of my other social media accounts. Scorpio, the messages I'm getting for you are really quite interesting because the first card that actually came out was the eagle. And if I'm not mistaken, this is actually one of your symbols as well. And whenever I see the eagle, this is a card that really is about going for something adventurous, saying yes to life, saying yes to something that both excites and scares you. And I really get this as well with the tiger, which is very much about kind of navigating the darkness, going after something that's a little bit unknown, feeling the ease in those transitions or in those kind of liminal spaces. And so two very powerful animal energies already coming in right out the gate. I did also get the bat here as well. Now, I feel like a lot of you have been going through a dark night of the soul, or maybe some period of grief or loss, or just deep questioning. I'm almost getting like existential crisis or crisis of faith. This is very much how this is coming for me, or coming to me rather. And I get the sense that there has been something that ended that you didn't expect to end, or at least you didn't think it would happen now. So it does feel like there's been something you've been recovering from. And maybe this is actually in the past. This might not necessarily have even been super recently. It just feels like you didn't think your life would lead you to where you are right now. Whether this ending or change is something that has just happened, or whether it was something that happened a while ago but is still affecting you in the present, it's a general reading. So this is going to really affect each of you on a different level or a different timeline. I do want to pull some tarot cards for you. Where did I put that deck here? Here we are. So I'm going to shuffle and I'm going to give my usual spiel that these are general readings, meaning not all of the messages that come forward are necessarily going to be meant for you. It's up to your own intuition and discernment to figure out what applies to your own life and what should be left behind for somebody else. And for those of you who want to support this channel, I really appreciate all the likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. It allows me to continue putting out these messages for all of you, and it really does help more than you could possibly know. I do also have a link for a coffee if you want to make a one-time or monthly donation. Otherwise, any support that you give this channel is just as appreciated, so thank you for that. Interesting. Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm already kind of getting the energy I was just describing. The cards from the past, we have the Four of Cups. And this is often feeling like a sense of discontentment with something, feeling like there isn't a good option that is being offered to you, or maybe you're not aware of other options. I'm just picking up that sense of disappointment, to be honest. And almost like this dissatisfaction with how things went. And it almost feels like life passed you by. I feel like you've also been waiting for a sign. You've been waiting for something to give you that next step, that next guidance with the Moon and the Two of Swords. I'm actually kind of hearing, maybe from your guides or ancestors, whoever it is that you work with, the message that's coming in is, it's up to you to figure this out. We're not going to tell you. So it might feel like, honestly, you might feel abandoned right now. You might feel a little forsaken, like you've been overlooked, like you've been forgotten about. But I don't think you've been forgotten. I do think you're supposed to do something different. I think you're supposed to take a chance on something or really believe in yourself. Because they want you to see how powerful you are. Nice. Yeah, wow. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is quite literally about standing in one's power, defending yourself, standing up for what you believe in. This very much feels like the energy for you. And the Queen of Pentacles is actually really beautiful because this often does indicate some kind of stability, making a long-term plan, something that is coming in, new fruit. I'm specifically drawn to the image here of this fawn with the doe. And so it does feel like there is a new beginning. There is something that has been almost like incubating for some time. And it feels like you are ready to birth something or create something in this world. Really specific, some of you might be working on a website or social media. For some reason, that was coming in as well. And it feels like that's a way to kind of advertise something or put yourself out there. For others of you, maybe you've been following people online or getting advice online from other people. Wow. They are not letting up here. We have the Seven of Cups as the challenge. There is definitely the sense of confusion. And I feel like there's more than one way to move forward in your life, Scorpio, especially as it comes to your purpose or career or your self-development. And I do have the High Priestess here as well in the future, and this very much is a card about following your intuition and acting on this. Interesting that we do have this tiger image again. I do feel like that is kind of a recurring theme or recurring symbol for you, so pay attention if you do see tigers. That might be part of the sign. But honestly, what I'm really getting is like, you've kind of always known what it is that you've needed to do, Scorpio. And whether this is about another person, a situation in your life, whatever it is that's on your heart at the time of this reading, I feel like you've known for a while what you need to do. And maybe you've been doubting yourself. You've been waiting for the right moment. You've been waiting for something to happen that hasn't. And I feel like you're supposed to make the next move. This is the moment you've been waiting for. This is also the sign that you've been looking for. What does that mean? Wow. There is something new coming in. There is a new beginning with the Three of Wands. Something that you have set into motion long ago, whether that was a desire, an intention. I'm actually feeling like some of you made a manifestation maybe years ago, or you set some kind of intention for your life. You had some sort of goal, and you forgot about it. And it's like all of a sudden you're remembering what it is that you really want, who it is that you really are. And this is actually quite interesting for me, Scorpio, because at the time of this recording, we do have Mercury going retrograde in your sign. And so a lot of you are kind of revisiting old ideas, maybe even looking back at yourself, how much you've changed, how much you've grown, or maybe even seeing ways that you've stagnated. No judgment, but you're just kind of taking this honest assessment of who you are, how you express yourself, what your identity is. And I feel like, ooh, oh my goodness, I just got hit with this kind of revelation that some of you are realizing who you truly are. And maybe you've been afraid of that. You know, maybe some of you had this feeling like what you wanted was too big for you and that you needed to play small. You don't have to do that. And in fact, it feels like some of you have been trying to live a life that's been very unsatisfying. And even if you did achieve what it is you set your mind to, it didn't really give you that sense of satisfaction. And in fact, for some of you, it could even be that something didn't go your way, but you didn't even really want it. Maybe you don't even know what you really want, or I think actually more precisely, you were afraid to admit what you really wanted. And it's almost like you had to earn for yourself you felt like you needed to earn the chance to go after what truly lit you up, what truly inspired you, or to find love, to find a relationship. And it feels like right now, Scorpio, you are having this sort of rebirth, this renaissance. You're remembering who you are. And I think a lot of you, if I'm being honest, you're not living authentically in that, or you're afraid. There's some kind of subconscious blockage there. Just out of curiosity, can we get a little more clarity? Who is Scorpio supposed to be? We have the Page of Swords. Some of you might be writers, poets. You might work with language or words. I definitely feel like there's something about like writing, putting ideas out there. Maybe that's that thing with social media or a website I was getting before too. Queen of Swords. Interesting. So it feels like you're meant to share your wisdom with people. And I feel like a lot of you have actually been voracious learners about a certain topic. Maybe you've learned a lot about astrology. Maybe you've learned a lot about tarot. And what I'm actually getting with this combination, interestingly, is a phenomena in psychology called the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's basically when someone who actually has a depth of knowledge about a topic or a subject, there's actually a tendency to underestimate how much they know. And conversely, when you don't know a lot about a subject or topic, there is actually a tendency to overestimate how much you know. So I feel like for some of you, you are underestimating your skills, your gifts, the knowledge you have gained, the skills you have gained. I think a lot of you already know 80 or 90% more than most people about something. And maybe this is about relationships for some of you too. Maybe this is about healing or learning about your attachment style. That it's like you're a lot further along than you realize. Where's all of this going for Scorpio? Where's all of this going for Scorpio? Some of you are walking away from things that no longer serve you with this Five of Swords. You're getting out of your own way. I feel like you're not fighting battles that aren't meant for you anymore. Whoa. Okay, that was a lot of cards. I'm going to shuffle again. I did see a King of Pentacles at the top of that, though, so it does feel like some of you are building something. You're making something secure, something that helps provide for you and other people. And we have the Ace of Cups. Okay, we have this renewal. We have this emotional new beginning. It's like you come alive again. You are feeling like you are in touch with your spirit, with your heart. You're living a life that feels aligned for you. For some of you, this could also be about new love or a deepening of a connection, taking a commitment to the next level. Is there any other messages about love? I'm actually just curious. Interesting. Let yourself be supported with the Six of Pentacles. Sometimes this is about give and take. I feel like a lot of you have been in relationships in the past where it's like you had to earn something or you needed to prove yourself, excuse me, prove yourself in some way. I do apologize if I've been kind of raspy throughout this. I did lose my voice a couple weeks ago and it's just coming back now. But yeah, I feel like some of you really just have this thing with self-worth. And that's kind of affecting you in your own life. It's affecting your relationships. I feel like it's just sort of a recurring thing, actually. And I do have the Nine of Pentacles as well, which in some ways is kind of a card of knowing your worth. But in a relationship context, this is kind of interesting because often this is about, having your own space, Self-love is actually kind of important with this card too. But because I see the Six of Pentacles here, honestly, there might be someone who wants to support you, or maybe there is someone in your life who is more established in some way, and you feel self-conscious about that. But I feel like someone really wants to support you, and frankly, it could actually be financial. It could be through some sort of gift. Maybe there's some kind of display of affection or something that someone's trying to give you. And I think it's just important to let yourself receive that. Because if the roles were reversed, you wouldn't have any doubt. You wouldn't make this person feel like they need to prove themselves. You wouldn't want them to feel less than. You would offer the same generosity. And maybe this is, for some of you, what you're doing. Perhaps the Six of Pentacles is about you giving to somebody else. But I see it more likely that you are in relationships that are more balanced, or that's something that is coming in. And again, I feel like someone is trying to gift you something. Might not even necessarily be romantic, actually. For some of you, this could just be about another person, someone who could be investing in something or funding something that you're doing. Could even be like a family member or something like that. But I really do feel like there is someone or a group of people who really want to support you. So allow yourself to receive that support. Don't be afraid to ask for help either. Because I do feel like you need to make a move here. And maybe that applies to relationships as well, too. Interesting. I really think that's all the messages. Is there anything else? Anything else for Scorpio? Any closing messages? I'll pull one more card. Justice. Cause and effect. Again, this is about balance. Honestly, I'm really seeing this in sort of an interesting way, this Justice card, because I see the light and the shadow here. This really does feel like there's some kind of integration of something. And I feel like for some reason you've made something that you want wrong, or you don't even know that you want something because you've made it taboo. Maybe there's part of you that wants to, I don't know, for example, make art or do something like that, but it feels shameful, or it feels too indulgent, or it feels like you'll be judged. And I think you've internalized some things on an even deeper level where you feel like you needed to keep yourself small. You needed to stay in your lane, your place. Especially if you had parents who might have been self-sacrificing. I'm getting that for some of you. And they kind of instilled you with this guilt or this grief. Like, I struggled so you wouldn't have to, and now you want to do something different. Now you want to go off. Or maybe they even just blamed you for their problems. So it feels like there's something here where you're bringing something back into balance. You're realizing what is yours and what is another person's. And I feel like, again, there's this integration of light and shadow, because I don't think that this is about you purging some negative belief or something. It's actually about you integrating it. It's about healing it, maybe even seeing the light in it. You know, there was something that was protective of you for some time. In internal family systems, there is kind of this idea of like a protector personality or protector part. And this is the part of us that is kind of risk averse. And it does this to keep us safe. But I feel like for some of you, this has really just become a means of sabotage. And so I feel like a lot of you are just embracing your truth. You're letting yourself be who you are. I also want to say some of you might be coming out as queer. That could be something I'm getting as well. Like that kind of energy of like stepping into who you really are. And I'm so curious to hear what this is really, what you're really embodying. And if you have any other interpretations of these cards, definitely feel free to comment down below. I always love to hear from you, and give us a little tiger emoji if you've made it all the way to the end here. That also seems like a really important symbol. Again, I am running a sale on my website. You can get 20% off through the holiday season using the code Good Tidings, all one word. All of that information is linked in the description. And I will see you next time, Scorpio. I'm sending lots of love and blessings your way. Take care.